Most of you do know. But if you don't, I was blocked by Ryan Reynolds. Yes. So Joe Rogan just entered the chat and he is team Justin Baldoni.
Joe Rogan Simply, starring Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. With the facts and formally joined, everyone is watching the Justin Baldwin team by playing the blame game now.
And it's absolutely absurd and it's not going to work.
Roger scolded them harshly, requesting that they cease their shady practices. Things are seriously harming Justin's mental well-being and destroying his reputation.
She's using it to assert control over Justin Baldoni, destroy his life. Essentially, it was destroying his family, his health, and everything else.
Joe Rogan recently joined the fucking chat, and I have never saw a man enter with greater vigor. Yes, mister, our alpha microphone is for justice. The podcasting godfather himself is. He's not even attempting to join Team Bellin. Keep your cool. We're discussing the man. With 14.5 million users on Spotify, 16.4 million YouTube viewers, and 18.9 million followers on Instagram, but that's not just a public opinion that is damned. Execution. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively messed up, and I'm not the one stating that. Rogan Joe.
This is what you get. You're trying to fucking ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement.
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise.
They're fucked.
The whole
man.
thing's crazy.
They're fucked.
And he's suing the New York Times.
And this wasn't some Hollywood jargon. Shade Rogers stated unequivocally that Blake and Ryan attempted to use sexual claims of harassment not to protect, not to encourage survivors, but to. Indeed, you have power over the film. You'd assume that true feminist icons would. We're marching for their rights out here when, actually, they're attempting to take over the entire production as if it were Oceans. 14. The heist of the entitled.
That it's a bunch of fabrication and lies, and then you see the control that she took over the movie. And I just don't see how any of these reporters are coming to that conclusion other than they are just trying to meet some type of agenda.
Roger didn't even use subtlety in his tone. Listen to his voice with disdain, and when Joe Rogan goes off, let's be honest, it's not like whispering on someone. It's like shouting into a hole behind a curtain, a loudspeaker, while the whole internet listening in. The man assisted in turning the story of Johnny Depp against Amber Heard the case and is currently searching directly at this Lively Reynolds catastrophe and making nonsense calls because that's what it is.
But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did it for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yeah.
A royal BS feast in Hollywood, where a lovely, calm, and kind guy like Baldoni is ultimately portrayed as the antagonist. Two overhyped celebrities throw NDA-related outbursts and legal threats. We must not sugarcoat. This double standard is abhorrent. When Blake abruptly cries wolf, every outlet pays attention, but when Baldoni is a guy with real receipts, attempts to protect himself from others. No more hesitating, not with Rogan, blasting this entire situation.
And then it's like, all right,
Dude,
enough.
he posted the receipts.
Oh,
He's
the
like, oh,
receipts are
remember our
crazy.
text exchange? Bah, bah,
How about she
bah,
told
bah.
him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding?
And in relation to Ryan Reynolds, Daddy Aviation Gin's Deadpool Mint Mobile poster. Wow, what a decline in grace, Roger. Let me tell you, went in on him as well. He called out in a beautifully cruel way. Reynolds is a key figure in this mess. It seems Ryan is attempting to. Now he's backpedaling, as if he was unaware. Oh my goodness, Ryan. What was happening? Just unintentionally got into a $400. You slipped and spilled some of the million lawsuit. Gin and plunged into legal hell face first. Come on.
Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you were a key part of this.
This is what you get, though.
Without even lifting a finger, Roger roasted him. Ryan's voice was the first thing he uttered, attempting to withdraw from the litigation. But they won't let him do of and. To paraphrase, You are a key part of this. When you try to play, that's what you get, man. Using people's careers as a puppet master. Attempt to use movements to ruin a man's life. Intended to shield actual victims, and then you display astonishment upon the house of cards. Give me a break if it falls on your head.
Baldoni, Blake Lively thing.
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit, and they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to fucking ruin a guy's livelihood.
Rogan is not the only one. Acknowledging that Brendan Schaub was on the podcast emphasized the same point. He stated unequivocally that Reynolds and Lively were attempting to pursue a profession in Hashmeadow. Weapon, and Rogan responded, yes, absolutely no. Hesitation, avoid taking sides, and this is the real kicker.
He owned the franchise.
They're fucked.
The whole
man.
thing's crazy.
They're fucked.
And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case
He's
there
going hard in
too.
the pain. But
He
that's
should.
what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yes, and Ryan's picture is adorable. We all adored this self-aware, sardonic person in. Yes, Deadpool is dead, but he's not. Deadpool is no longer dead, he's Blockpool's avocado toast with a soft shell, with an approachable guy on the marketing team. Shtick is ineffective when you're attempting to bury a man beneath false charges while Cruella de Vil, your wife gives it her all. Impression from behind the scenes.
They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it. Because everyone usually just bows
Because everyone's
down.
scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, they're the queen.
Let's now discuss the receipts. Since here is where Rogan simply lets the information out like a firestorm.
Van City Reynolds, who has blocked me, so I can still view his stuff. I just can't post anything. You see, guys, it's all grayed out. Look at that. My feelings are really hurt.
Baldoni, Justin, isn't just taking this while sitting there. He's fighting back like a shithead. Warrior with Lively making receipts. And Reynolds appear to be novices in A. They attempted to direct a courtroom drama, but neglected to develop a screenplay for our discussing a comprehensive website text, voice notes, voice messages, and behind-the-scenes video that shows that Lively's narrative is unraveling quicker than her spouse's Twitter. Observing.
He's like, oh,
Receipts are
remember our
crazy.
text exchange? Bah, bah,
How about she
bah,
told
bah.
him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding?
Let's just take a moment to discuss one particular piece of evidence, since it's so damningly funny that I can't even. Blake accused Baldwin of handling it, entering her trailer as she was breastfeeding, playing the entire. He broke my space card, but you know what? She literally texted him to come in. Written evidence that she asked him to come. Clownery on a whole other level that isn't a lie. After extending a VIP invitation to the wolf. And instructions.
Told him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding.
You're fun
And then
ass.
part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth.
Rogers emphasized that moment of utter incredulity. You could hear it in his voice. Like, are they sincere about this? Items owned by the Hollywood elite. For so long, they got away with this. Honestly didn't believe that someone like Baldwin would return the applause.
You're fun
And then
ass.
part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it. Because everyone usually just bows
Because everyone's
down.
scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list.
They believed he had just curl up and go away, but not like this. This isn't a backdoor NDA, this time. Baldoni's resolution extracted the entire damn voice memos, voice recordings, and war chest texts. A website that inserts another web page into a man in the midst of a lawsuit who is aware that he's been prepared and is prepared to destroy everything. Down Roger made this very evident. This was a she, not a guy, she said. He removed the receipt situation after saying that. And best of all, they weren't ready. They believed the Hollywood public relations apparatus would protect them, believing their A-list armor was impervious to bullets, but I suppose. Which facts are irrelevant to your vanity. In actuality, Fair Cover Roger stated that They didn't believe anyone would display the, due to the fact that nobody ever does, due of everyone's excessive fear of Blake. And who wants to go up, Ryan? Opposing the prom king in Hollywood, and Baldwin did, though, and now there. He was seen obstructing people on it while flailing, brand accounts being silenced on social media, and being ridiculed by people on the internet who are fed up with the hypocrisy.
I was blocked by Ryan Reynolds. Yes. Predator Pool himself blocked me. I don't know when he blocked me. I don't know if it's when I exposed on X what happened with his daughter in Deadpool and that abhorrent things that they made her do.
Justin. Instead than simply clapping back, Baldwin loaded a legal cannon and hurled it directly at the Hollywood elite that we are discussing. $400 million lawsuit instead of $4 million. $400 million, what sort of harm that number causes, and it's not only a case involving the entire industry. Guess who's at the center of the earthquake? Lively, a professional victim of Blake, Reynolds, and Ryan. I promise I'm innocent. Leslie Sloan, their PR puppet master. The three of them believed they were playing 4D chess. As it happens, Baldoni was in charge. Book as well as the receipts.
It's whiny, it's bratty, and it needs to end. So to that, I say thank you to Blake Lively.
The defamation extortion is covered in the case. Invasion of privacy by misleading light. Promissory fraud is essentially everything, as one might anticipate from a Hollywood power grab, gone wrong. You haven't been the only one to hurt my. These are actual sensations legal jargon. Baldwin is not charged with scorched earth. While playing games, Roger examined the entire thing and referred to his legal plan. Substantial and originating from Joe, that is to say. This man doesn't toss anything. Praise unless it's accompanied by a joke and a protein shake.
This is an amazing support that Justin is now getting from Joe Rogan on this case, and it's going to continue to get ugly as more things come out.
However, this is additionally, genuine kicker. Baldoni is suing the New York Times for their amusing, biased reporting. Seemingly even the alleged paper of record was unable to. Don't sing for Ryan and Blake. People, journalism is dying, and Baldwin just carried the shovel. The plan is simple. No hush-hush, no backdoor dealings. Settlements simply drag out every tiny bit of detail into the illumination and support it with recorded evidence and made available to the public. Like marshmallows, cook the scammers at a campfire. If this case is successful, it appears as though we might be witnessing a total change in Hollywood's approach to no more lies, it's dirty laundry. Charges that are being ignored. No more dehumanizing PR spin. Without any confirmed facts, this might be the case that ultimately fails the system, or at least makes it look bad so hard it acts like it's acting for a while.
She told the composer that she brought in when the other one was fired that she wanted let go, allegedly because Taylor Swift wanted him let go.
Let's chat now regarding Blake Lively's small-scale autocracy, because this woman really went all out for Game of Thrones in a romantic film. The manner in which she seized control of it ends with us wasn't only. It was straightforward and unprofessional. Her actions as a cartoon villain weren't just. She allegedly chose to fire the star. People swap out the crew and block the real Baldoni director after viewing his own footage. That isn't antagonistic behavior. Takeover that she was unwilling to participate in. She desired to possess the movie.
She basically called him and said that she has moved into the role of taking control of the movie and finishing it and doing the whole movie.
And it earned her a PGA credit. You are aware of what producer status entails. She had a significant impact on casting, editing, access to everything but the cherry. Furthermore, a composer actually stated that when Blake phoned him, she remarked, "I'm currently running the movie." This woman took, as if she were in charge of a Marvel film rather than Nicholas Sparks. Copycat, but she still anticipates us to think she's the naive young mean man trampling on a flower in Suits. The irony is so obvious that Reynolds' aviation skills might be sufficient. Blake made allegations of harassment against Jen Bottle, as though she were some helpless on-set extra. In the meantime, she was in charge of the location like a CEO who abuses power when someone has the control over the edit and the power to remove employees and prevent the real director from accessing out of the loop. That is a victim, not a "I'm sorry, boss, but let's all cry for." While she's out here phoning, poor Blake. Bullets in heels like a gangster boss.
Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME, their agency, into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible.
And Ryan was present for everyone. He's not some ignorant bystander. He is linked to the lawsuit that he's alleged neck in this mess, along with his mint is not as loud as stillness. Mobile advertisements, if he wasn't happy with the way were being managed, where was the declaration? Where was the responsibility? Oh, I'm busy removing detractors from social media. Media like a helpless boy with a Wi-Fi signal.
She's opened up about the fact that she struggles for equality, all the struggles that she faces on behalf of trying to stand up as a woman.
Now, this is when things become really spicy. Rogers harshly criticized the feminism card. And appropriately, therefore, we're viewing a spin on a Hollywood power couple, reputable social movement into a personal weaponry. Isn't just for protection. Justice is not the issue. Rather, it's about Roger isn't saying everything. The accusations are not true at all. But he is drawing attention to the selective indignation. Blake asserts something, and all of a sudden the world pauses, but when proof appears, demonstrating that it's nonsense.
It's just disgusting. But as more and more evidence has come out, you're seeing more people are siding with Justin Baldoni.
It's crazy how fast the media simply followed her version without fact-checking. Blake only stated it for proof, thus it must be accurate, and Baldwin is now out here dropping video records and screenshots, clips, and he is the one who is somehow. It makes sense when you ask questions.
But I'm grateful that she's going through this because it's making a lot of people question what, in fact, modern feminism has become.
And let's discuss this recent type of feminism that they are advocating for. Have faith in all women regardless of according to the facts, the delusional, performative gibberish that allows. When celebrities complain, they immediately become saints, which isn't feminism. Manipulation encased in hashtags, even. Real feminists are retreating and saying, hold on, we're not defending that.
I think even feminists will agree that you can't just believe someone because they make accusations, especially once the evidence shows that it's a bunch of fabrication and lies, and then you see the control that she took over the movie. And I just don't see how any of these reporters are coming to that conclusion other than they are just trying to meet some type of agenda.
Roger and content. Artists such as Andy Senior and Dave Neal are being labeled misogynistic solely because asking inquiries since when has journalism been misogynistic? Fact-checking a hateful act is pitiful the instant you have any doubts. According to Blake's account, you're abruptly classified as the opponent, which is how they maintain power. Gender is no longer an issue. Instead, it's about strength and reputation, and Blake and Ryan are attempting to accumulate both.
To the point of misandrous, to the point where content creators, as you guys have seen, are being criticized as misogynistic just because we don't believe Blake Lively.
Let's just simply said, this does not constitute empowerment. This is an attack on one's reputation, and the sniper rifle is held by Blake Lively. As Ryan removes the fingerprints, they made a movement with the bullets that's intended to assist survivors and utilized it to fuel their ego trip in Hollywood, and now, in their faces, it's exploding up. They're acting as though they're surprised that didn't anticipate Rogan's voice. They didn't anticipate Belden's retaliation, and they certainly didn't anticipate receiving invoices to overrun the internet. They believed the "trust me, I'm a well-known strategist" would continue to function effectively, but not now.